Welcome to Crimson Guitars, welcome to my home studio, welcome to day 4 of a one-day build. It is going to be finished at some point. You guys ended up overcomplicating things for me, which I appreciate.
Burn it.
I'm having fun. Hey, yeah. This episode was sponsored by Skillshare. Check the details below and I'll talk more about that later. So what we ended up with is technically a headless instrument. So we're using a headless trem system. Unfortunately, it does still require a head because it's got these weird tuner-like locking bits. A through neck with a vintage from the Bond factory Bond Electro Glide. Bond guitars. I wonder if that name is available. That could be a cool guitar brand to digress into. Fantastic Bond Electro Glide, aluminium fretboard, anodized so it's strong enough for strings. It's wedged so there aren't any frets. So I thought, hey, we're going to save a lot of time because I'm not going to have to do any fret work. And guess what? We then put an aluminium top with a rosewood interstitial top with 2 actual bodies and a skeletal headstock. Can you hear the emotion in my voice? Now on the computers we have my wonderful wife Tanya, who refuses to let you guys call her Tan, so you have to come up with something, anything other than that. I still have a bit of a scratchy throat, so I'm trying not to cough too much. I've got to carve the neck, I've got to finish the headstock, I've got to do some carving on the back, route pickups and trem cavity and controls and bits and pieces. We've got a guitar. It's all good. I need to figure out where this bridge is going to go exactly. And I seem to recall that it's a bit of a strange scale length. There we go. I can do this. That's 12, that's 5, that's 652. Woohoo! Look at that. What I don't actually have is a verifiable center line anymore. Let's work that out. I want to see whether everything else is actually lined up. My line was off because of glue. 32, 64. All right, we're centered. Fantastic. That's good to know. I have got my bridge position marked. Now the bridge line is there. The actual cavity starts 6 millimeters behind the nominal scale length. Yep, that looks correct. I'm going to cut this off, make this template a little bit shorter so I can mark this out, and then we need to do a bit of designing to work out what the extra shape, the next layer of aluminium is going to be, because, well, the options are we can either hide the gap at the end of the fretboard with a pickup. Let's grab the pickups, let's do that. I don't think that it requires an extra plate on here, so that whole trip to Dorchester this morning telling you to buy glue was probably just not required. I now have lots of glue though, which is good. So there is a poll going at the moment to see whether we should just sacrifice this headstock. I mean, the headstock could look pretty damn cool, I will say. What I have planned for it is all sorts of cool angles and bits and pieces. Those cool angles and bits and pieces will take a little bit of time to do. So you've got these brass bits here, and that's what actually sets the tuner. You'll pull that all the way out so that when you put the string in from here, you've got lots of tightening to do. No, other way around, all the way in. So you've got lots of tightening to do. And then when you put it into the locking system, you pull that really tight and then lock it off.
JS Trucking Guitars wonders what you mean by off. It's just a very British way of saying off.
That's the thing. I say it because I'm from South Africa, which is also, anyway. Sorry, people take the mick out of me for saying it back like that, so I...
Yes, I think Mark Jennings get it. He says off with his head, or with its head, sorry.
Off with its head, yeah. Okay, so the pole, no 67%. Okay, fantastic. Headstock is good. The position here is good. I'm going to use the pickup to cover the gap created by the veneer slipping because I didn't use a locating pin where the pickups were because I'm a fool, basically. So I just need to cut off the excess of this pickups around. Love that noise. What I need to do in reality is chop that off, which means I need to do all of the routing first with this on those two, and then sacrifice the end, and I'll use the end of the fretboard to run the bearing off on the rest of it. Okay. And we'll move on to the headstock in a minute. Now, what I need to do is drill out with a Forstner bit, a sacrificial Forstner bit, on the aluminium. So I'm going to drill out the waste, which means I need to guesstimate where this is going to go. And these ones here, I can then go and do some routing. So, well, I wonder if I actually have access to the pillar drill. I didn't think I was going to need it today. Okay. No, everything in me is saying that while this is actually working and giving a really cool effect, I want to do that by hand with smaller drill bits. I was worried that when I went through to the glue, it would grab and rip everything out and we'd just be really, really messed up here. So I'm actually going to go through with a hand drill. Yeah, so that's warming the aluminium up a lot more than the standard twist drill did. This is not an elegant solution. So I can spend a little bit of time making a template that's got all three P90s on it in the correct position and maybe even the tremolo position. And then when I'm using the router, it's just the same depth, change the depth and go through, as opposed to masking tape and super glue individual P90 templates in place and then spending a lot more time actually doing it. I think I will go with the former thing. Now, what I've got here is a chunk of really nice birch ply, actually. Center line. I would like to, on the pillar drill, just drill out the mess beforehand. It makes it quicker and easier. I sincerely hope that's all in the right place. That lines up absolutely perfectly. We've got the offset correct on the trem there. It's set above the fretboard, and I'm not going to grind away the aluminium. The router gently applied should do it. Isn't it funny with the difference with how I talk when there's actually interaction and people coming back to me versus when it's just a camera. So this is the thing. You want to have masking tape that isn't particularly shiny or glossy, and if you burnish it down, it sticks much better. So people who have had issues with this are just not doing it right. Had you moved Bumblebee? Is that what it was?
Yes.
Honestly, I just assumed that I'd put it there on purpose.
No, if people saw it.
Was Bumblebee over there? So somebody said, oh, you need to get a Bumblebee, and I knew exactly where it was. I was like, oh, hold on, I've got one over here. I didn't even twig that you've moved it. There we go. You cannot prank me. That is not a challenge, yo. Life begins after coffee. Routing is actually going very well. All right then, there we go. That worked very well. It was a little bit scary. So we're currently 10 mil deep, and we've got about another 7 to go on this. I will then measure it and confer with the pickups. So we have success. It's all good. Essentially, this router cutter is very, very deep, which is what I need, but that means that the bearing isn't, when I start routing, going to be confined by the template. This is bad, not good. The opposite of good, in fact. So what I need to do is go through and drill. I need to drill through with the Forstner bits in a couple of places quickly. Doing this with the Forstner bits is going to make the actual routing process much, much, much easier. Woohoo! Okay, fine, cool. What we've got here is a guitar. Is this, I don't know. Probably not. I don't know anymore. I've lost track of everything.
So the raffle ends Saturday.
And
everything that we filmed yesterday is going into Saturday's video. Everything that's being filmed today is potentially next Saturday.
Probably Wednesday next week, maybe even.
It depends. Are we giving Bear a weekend break?
Ha! He'll have a... I don't know. What do you think, Bear? Bear's not actually watching this.
Bear's
'cause he's
frantically
editing.
trying to edit for
Okay.
Saturday.
The recap is that I've just weight relieved it by taking out 3 P90 size holes. The trem is in progress. We glued the aluminium top on yesterday. We have decided we're going to stick with this headstock, albeit make a few changes. I'm going to cut a slit into it so that we can turn it into a Mandalorian sort of rifle, which is going to be super cool. I need to carve the neck. I need to do a little bit of chamfering on the back. But for now, it really is a little bit more routering. Yeah, that's what I said. I did say that.
Oh, rattering.
Tremolo.
Boyan Z wants to know, what finish are you going to put on the aluminium?
I'm tempted to have no finish at all.
Put on the aluminium?
Yeah.
So to let it oxidize, or...
Yeah, just do what it wants to do.
Okay.
Good. Okay, so it fits. That's all good. Okay, I'm not going too far. There we go. Looky, looky. That means I don't need to worry about springs or anything like that. It's just screw the bugger down. So I'm obviously using a template from, it's one of the Crimson Guitars, templates for Custom 22. I need to get the tremolo. So there we go. That's the line there. I mean, that trim looks pretty damn cool, doesn't it? Yep, that lines up nicely. Yeah, it seems to have just moved a fraction over, which is fine by me. The trim has just enough body thickness, it's not poking through the back. Phew. So I need to plane the back down so we've got that nice and flat, and then that'll give us a good area to route off.
A little bit obvious.
So there we go. Now, where I am standing, that's in place, that's in place. Here's the router.
Power off. All right, here we go.
Hello, you beautiful people. I've done that routing. I sincerely, okay, it's not all the routing. We're not quite finished. We have not quite finished the routing. We've still got a control cavity to do, but that's going to involve playing around with templates and things, I think. So we've been going for 5 hours odd today with a bit of a stop for lunch. And quite a bit of talking, actually. This is the thing. I hadn't really figured on, just to make my excuses, sheer amount of stopping and answering questions. So what I've realized basically is I'm set up, I've got the thing on the front that's holding the guitar to the bench, and while I'm here I need to just route the control cavity. So that's it. Here you go, baby. Everybody, I introduce you to my youngest child, Byron. Byron Torben Poopity Poop Pro.
I am not your youngest child.
You are. So I'm just making a quick custom template here, guys. I don't particularly like the shape. I'm going to draw it straight onto the guitar. That's what I need to do. I need to draw it straight onto the guitar. Okay, cool. We got it. So you need to start with what you want the scratch plate to look like. The scratch plate. What you want the plate to look like. And it needs to fit everything. So my controls are going to be here. Anyway, it's all fun and games. Okay, so what we've got here is a little back plate. So that's the external design. You often see more when I'm not actually even thinking about what I'm doing, because I've got such a distracting child in the room.
Don't blame the child for your distractions.
We're here. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. We've got a bunch of people, bunch of stuff going on. Do I need to recess the control cavity? I do. I really do.
So we're not doing a poll.
What? Oh no. There's no need to. There's no question. But what I don't need to do is I don't need to make a second template. I can literally just use a Forstner bit and do a custom internal section. We've routed for the pickups, we've routed the trem cavity, the headstock is almost done, and I think we're going to work on the headstock tonight and leave that clamped up. I'm just recessing the control cavity plate now. Ish, and yeah, so the next episode is going to be carving a neck, unless we do that tonight, and other bits and pieces. There might be 2 episodes in there, I don't really know. The guitar is called BOBA FRETT with the serial number C3P90, which I think is incredibly cool. At this stage, a lot of it has been done. I just need to create a template here quickly for the back control cavity cover. You guys are having to figure out whether I make that in rosewood or aluminium. I'm using a skip tooth blade here to cut this. Still relatively fine. Relatively hard work as well, but it's yeah, it's working all right. Whew. Okay, so picture the scene. I'm there. I'm showing my drummer at the time how cool the workshop is, and I used the dust extraction port that blew a lot of air out of the belt sander that I had to blow all the dust off the bench and out the window, which looked cool. So I did that, turned it on, realized I wasn't thinking. I caught my thumb in the belt sander, ripped a layer of skin 3/4 of the way around the thumb off. There's no scar. And turned the machine off, and I'm calm, collected. I'm like, well, that hurt. I mean, I've got somebody who I want to impress watching me, so that was sore. And he's like, and turned white. And I was like, pass me that super glue over there. I put the super glue on. Pass me that accelerator. And the next thing I know, I'm lying on the floor, crying like a baby, screaming and kicking things in pretty much the most intense pain I have ever been in, short of actually burning my finger. And I went from looking as cool as a cucumber to a 2-year-old baby who's just had his milk taken away. It was sore. In fact, my thumb can kind of feel it just describing it right now. So thanks for that. That was actually the worst. Thank you, Talitha. I had forgotten that one entirely. I was planning on having that section as aluminium. And that's too far. I can do that though. There we go. Yeah. What I'm thinking, people, is to actually have this section here as the rosewood. 1, 2, 3. We should have enough room for switches and things. And then here and here have those two sections as aluminium. And basically you've got a bolt there and a bolt there. And the same thing, a bolt there and a bolt there. So actually that needs to be shorter. And that is the mechanism by which the back plate is held down. And that looks quite cool, in my opinion. What do you think? Okay, so I'm only going to be able to route partially into that spot in any case, but yeah, it'll be quite cool.
Dan Peacock My boss asked me why I wanted to go back to the office instead of continuing to work from home. Hearing Ben's kid reminded me of why I went back to the office.
All right, so that is pretty good. Oh, yeah, I'm sore at this stage. Okay, what I'm going to do is a little bit naughty. I'm going to use Forstner bits to remove a bit of material by hand. I'm then going to use a chisel to thwack, 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 and then I will use that as the template
thwack,
to route
thwack.
the best. Thwack, thwack, thwack. Put that on a t-shirt.
Okay.
So this is an inside ground gouge, so it cuts inside curves. Going to do some routing. Let's take the last of this off. This is there's still a substantial amount of wood in the neck, but actually the body is very small. I think I'm in love with this. I really think seeing it on a screen makes a big difference actually, versus having it on a workbench. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. The sander yesterday was sucking all of this dust up, but doing it by hand is less good. No, it works, just not enough. That's too fine. That sandpaper's too fine. Not enough. It's doing something, it's just not doing as much as I'd hoped. Okay, now just before we shut up shop for the day, here is where we're at. We have taken a Bond Electroglide fretboard from the factory, a headless system, kind of half headless system. It's a bridge mounted tuning system that's got some locking things that look like tuners at the headstock, thus kind of negating it, but still it's a very cool looking good quality system. Taken that, designed by committee a guitar that I am very much in love with. And this is where we currently stand. There is an aluminium top section with rosewood, slightly recessed, looking cool, a through neck, a tremolo, and most of the work, most of the noisy work at the very least has been done at this point. The guitar is the right shape. I've got some carving to do, I've got some neck carving to do, and then we've just got to put it together. And the guitar is called BOBA FRETT. And BOBA FRETT. And the serial number is C3P90. So that's pretty cool. Two sets. So I'm going into a 6mm hole with an 8mm cutter, and it wants to jump. So put the drill in reverse, and then push it in, and then you go. I really did do that backwards. I thought, oh, I should start at the bridge because that's the right way to do it. But no, I was wrong. I should start at the neck.
You wrong at admitting it?
I'm pretty sure I've got a reputation for being wrong and admitting it. Sister, how dare you? I might need to route these pockets a little bit deeper. And certainly I'm going to need to do something with the wires under there. Let's just go in that way for now. I was thinking about having the output jack here so that it sort of either pokes straight out and goes over your strap, or I could even put a Strat style jack socket there, which you have to click in that way, or maybe even that way, so it just pokes straight down to the bottom. But yeah, it's one of those things. Okay, so here's what this guitar is starting to shape up into. I love it. I hope you do too. And I think this is pretty much where we're going to end it. This episode has been sponsored by Skillshare. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity and potentiality today. I am all about learning. I'm all about online learning, and they are the platform of choice for ad-free, premium, concise, professional ways to learn pretty much anything you could dream of, from editing to business to how to put together your own book. All of these things are projects that I am procrastinating on at this current point, but I love learning about them. So the most recent of many classes that I've taken was Marques Brownlee, YouTube Success, Script, Shoot and Edit with MKBHD. I'm a YouTuber, I have this thing, you're watching me, yet I am always learning about it. It's just the story of his life, how he started. That story is what is inspiring me to keep on doing what I'm doing, and the lessons I'm learning from his life are being applied to my life, and it is just incredible. Skillshare is here to make creative life possible for as many people as possible, and that gels entirely with me and my life. Anyway, back to the video. The guitar build, my workshop, creativity. I would like very much to say thank you to everybody who's watching. It's a Tuesday, and I'm surprised that there's been so many of you to be honest, and delighted. I am going to be doing a weekly live stream build. It works so much. I really enjoy the feedback. I enjoy this whole process. I think we are going to do that. It is probably going to be on Mondays. The next episode in this build will be on Monday, next Monday, and we'll go from there. Now the guitar itself is pretty much finished. I'm not going to say I'm going to finish it next week, but that is the hope.
Pretty much finished. You haven't even carved the neck.
I have not even carved the neck yet, but you know, it's fine. that.
We distracted Ben.